So last week, a few of you raised a couple of points that you wanted to do some more sort of speaking practice and some more sort of your own practice. So I've tried to incorporate more of that into this week's lesson. But before we do that, I just wanted to do some grammar first. So we're going to be focusing on like conjugation, which is when you change a verb in order to show a difference in a tense or in a mood in the sentence. And most languages have sort of two forms, which is regular and irregular verbs. Regular is what it sounds like. It's the most consistent pattern in which verbs will change depending on whether they're talking about present, past, the mood somebody's in, how many people, etc. And irregular verbs basically are just a bit strange. Like they have their own set of rules that most of the time you just need to be familiar with. That being said, there are ways of mostly remembering it. And I've also got a app that I want to share with you later on that will help you with conjugation a bit. It's got like all French verbs, I think, and a couple of like exercises that you can do with them. But we'll get to that as we progress. Can everybody see the worksheet for today on the screen?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, cool. So as you can see, there are sort of two like tables. The first is with the regular verbs. The second is with irregular verbs. There is a slight caveat on irregular verbs because être and avoir will fall into irregular verb tendencies, but they're not irregular verbs. They are auxiliaries and they function slightly differently in a sentence. That being said, they are most commonly used in irregular tables. So here we go. So there are basically three groups that regular verbs fall into. And the easiest way to conjugate verbs in this area is to look at the end of the word. If it ends in an ER, an IR, or an RE, and then you'll see depending on the pronoun, it will usually have the same ending. So can anybody give me an example of a verb that you know that ends in ER, the first group?
Sorry, a verb that ends in what, Taylor?
So it's with the first group, so it ends in ER.
Jouer.
Sorry?
Jouer.
Yes, so
Play.
Like that, to play. Okay. So this is a perfect example. It's got an ER at the end. You can see the termination, as we call it, is ER. And so it fits into the first group of regular verbs. Don't worry if this doesn't make too much sense. It will presently. So if we look at our table, okay, you've got je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, ils, elles, okay? And basically the way in which it conjugates, you take the first part of the word, the je, okay, and then you give it one of these terminations depending on the pronoun that is in front of it. So if it was je, what would come after that?
E.
Yes, exactly. And for tu?
ES.
Yes. Il, elle, or on?
E.
Yes, so with just an E. Nous?
ONS.
Yes. That's right. It's slightly different because it ends in an E. That's a funny one, but it's the same with manger. Okay, it's mangéons, jouéons. Okay, it's got the little E there. Vous,
EZ.
that's right. And il, elle,
ENT.
exactly. So generally, all verbs, regular verbs that fall into the first group, end this way.
Could
Okay.
you pronounce them all, Taylor, please?
Sorry?
Could you please pronounce all of them?
Sure.
Just so we understand the differences, because with jouer and jouon.
Yeah. So I'll have a go. So, je joue, tu joues, il, elle, on joue, nous jouons, vous jouez, il, elle joue. So it's basically joue, 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 jouions, jouez, joue. Okay, I'll do it again. Joue, 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 jouions, jouez, joue. So the last one, the ENT, for the most part, you really don't hear any difference between it and the je, tu, and il, elle, for whatever reason. I have yet to really figure out why you don't pronounce really the N either, but for all the time that I've been speaking French, it works to just pronounce it basically the same way that you would if you had je, tu, il, elle, or on. Okay. Then you have the second group, which is, this is quite a rare group. It really doesn't come up all that much, and there's only a couple of verbs that do this. But basically, the most common one that you find in this group is like finir. Okay, so to finish something. Yeah. Okay. And do we want to have a go at conjugating these ones? Je.
Fini with an
Fini.
IS.
Yeah, exactly. Tu.
Same thing.
Yep. Il, elle, etc.
Fini but with IT.
Yep. Nous.
ISSONS.
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see, these are regular. They have sort of a regular pattern to them. So finition. Vous.
Finissez.
Finissez. That's right. That's perfect. That's good pronunciation. Finissiez. And the last one?
ISSENT.
Yeah. Do you want to have a go at what that would sound like?
Hold on. Fini.
Finis.
Finis.
Yeah. Ils finissent. Ils finissent. Or elles finissent. Yeah, because you do pronounce the S's, but you don't pronounce the ENT. So, ils finissent, elles finissent. But not the same as il finit, elle finit. So that's the difference. You will actually hear a difference in the conjugation of that form. So yeah, that is the second group of regular verbs. Sorry. And the last one, the third group, tends to end, there's quite a lot of them, but it ends with the termination RE. Okay. Does anybody know of a verb that ends in RE?
Faire?
Faire, yes, it does. But this is actually an irregular verb. Faire is an irregular verb. I will take you through that one. Like, as you can see down the bottom in the next table, it ends a bit differently to the regular third group verbs. But yes, this is where it can get a bit confusing, is that while this is the general rule, there are exceptions, and this is always the case in French. You have like 95% of verbs which are regular, and then you have like the other 5% which are irregular, and you just need to memorize which ones those are. Yeah. Does anybody know a regular third group or RE verb?
What about lire?
Lire, yes. And what does that mean?
To read?
To read, that's right. Cool. So, j'ai.
Sorry, Taylor, is it L-I-R-E-R like the other, like jouer and finir?
So, lire, as in jouer.
No. See how the other one, to play, ends in R?
Yes.
It ends in the letter R. Is it L-I-R-E-R or just L-I-R-E?
So L-I-S. This is how like lire. It's a little bit irregular, but it follows the general pattern of this. So you have je lis, then you have tu lis, then you have il, elle, lit. Okay, so same thing, li, but with a T, although that...
Do you pronounce the T?
Sorry?
Do you pronounce the T?
No. So like with most pronunciation in French, it doesn't get pronounced at the end. The T and the S are silent, hence why it sounds like I'm saying li all the time. So je lis, tu lis, il lit, elle lit, on lit, etc. Then you have nu.
Nous lions.
Nu, lisons. Nous lisons. Sorry, guys. And sorry, so yes, nous lisons. Okay, again, I'm not pronouncing the S on the end of the ONS. Okay, so it's nous lions. Nous lions. Sorry, guys. Nous lisons. Okay. Vous. Looking across to our purple table.
Lisez.
Lisez, exactly. And il, elle, lit.
Sont.
Yes, so lise. So lise, okay? So there is a slight S sound on that one. So you go il, elle, sorry, ils, elle, lise. Okay, so je lis, tu lis, il, elle lit, nous lisons, vous lisez, il, elle lise. Okay? Is that a little bit clearer for most people? Cool. So that is generally the way in which French regular verbs in these groups end. They'll either be one of those three categories, and they will follow those same patterns depending on which category they fall into. Now, usually people struggle with the irregular verbs because there's no particular pattern or way of sort of intuiting how those finish. You just sort of have to remember that they're irregular and remember how that verb conjugates irregularly. And then it gets sort of progressively harder. You have to remember how it conjugates in different tenses. But for now, this is all present conjugation, so the present tense. So it's like I'm playing, I'm finished, sorry, I'm finishing, and I'm reading. Okay, so this is our present tense in English. We use the verb plus ing. And in this one, they use the present tense or the present simple. Any questions about that so far? Does anyone want to have a go at pronouncing any of these?
A bit scary.
A bit scary? Is there any one that you'd like to practice more than another, like maybe jouer, finir, or lire?
I'll try the. I'll go, Anna.
No. Sorry, you go. You go first.
Okay. I'll try the finir.
Finir, yeah.
Is it finir or finier?
Finir,
Finir.
yeah. So it's got that little the R sound at the end of it, finir.
It's a bit guttural, is it?
It is a little glottal, but
Finir.
like delicately glottal.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
So,
So go for it.
je finis,
Mm-hmm.
tu finis,
Mm-hmm.
elle finit,
Mm-hmm.
nous finissons,
Mm-hmm.
vous finissez,
Mm-hmm.
elles finissent.
Excellent.
Not sure
Yeah,
the last one.
exactly. So there is that slight S sound for the il, elle, okay, at the end. Anyone else want to have a go?
Anna?
Okay, I'll do the same.
Yep.
Je finis, tu
J'ai
finis,
fini.
fini. J'ai fini, tu finis,
Mhm.
il, elle finit, nous finissons, vous finissez,
Mhm.
ils, elles finissent.
Good. Very good. Excellent. Yeah, so
Je lis.
very
Can I
good.
do
Yeah, like the
the,
hard ones are usually like the nous and vous because they are slightly different sounds. So there's nous finissons, vous finissez. Okay, so nous finissons, vous finissez.
Okay.
And then il, elle finissent. So yeah, good job. Anyone else want to try one of them? Either jouer or lire.
Can I do a lire as well?
Yes, of course.
So it's je lis, tu lis, il, elle lit,
Mm-hmm.
nous lisons,
Yeah.
vous lisez,
Mm-hmm.
ils, elles lisons.
Lise.
Just lis. Okay.
Yeah, same principle with finis.
Yeah.
Like the ENT, it doesn't quite, it's not a huge pronunciation. It's not very strong, the ENT. But it allows you to pronounce the S sound in the middle.
Ils, elles lis.
Yeah, so il, elle, lise.
Okay.
Oh,
Il, elle, we don't pronounce the S like ils, else.
No. So unless the word that follows the pronoun starts with a vowel sound, you don't pronounce the S on the end of il, elle.
Okay.
So like a good example is when you conjugate avoir for the irregular verb. You'll see if you go to the second table and down the bottom, you'll see ils, elles, ont. So ont is the conjugation of avoir, to have. And when it follows il, elle, then you will hear the S because there's a vowel sound and they want to basically point out the difference between the pronoun and the next word. So they put the S in there.
so see the. Oh, yeah, sorry, Anna.
No, that was quite.
So
Sorry?
see the vous
Yes.
row, Taylor. Vous étiez. Is it vous étiez or vous étiez?
Vous êtes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So the way that ends up happening is that the S is silent, but the E makes the T very pronounced. So you basically are saying vous êtes.
Vous
So
êtes.
you've got je suis, tu es, il, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils, elles sont. Okay? So, je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont.
Je suis, tu es, il, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes,
Yep,
ils, elles sont.
exactly. Yep. So, ils, elles sont is a little bit different to is, elles ont. Okay, so it's not super obvious, but the difference between the être and the avoir with il, elle is that the S is coming from the second word. Most of the time you're speaking so fast, you won't hear it, but there is a slight difference there. But at the end of the day, as you're learning, it doesn't make that big a difference.
Speaking fast isn't us.
Sorry?
Speaking when you say speaking fast, you're not referring to us.
So when I'm speaking fast, it's usually in regards to the ils, elles. Okay, the they pronoun.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else coming in. So any questions about any of the regular verbs before we move on? Does anybody want to try any of them before we move on? Okay. So I'll briefly go over the irregular verbs because these are the most common irregular verbs that we get. Être, avoir, aller, faire, and pouvoir. You might not have seen pouvoir yet, but it means to be able to, or can in English. So pouvoir is also a, what do we call it in English? A modal verb. Okay, it tells you the mode.
Is it like can?
Yes,
can?
exactly. So it's basically the equivalent of can in English, but it means basically to be able to do something or be able to something. So it conjugates, as you can see, a little bit differently to how you'd expect it to conjugate, given that it's got no E's and only like the U sort of changes around, and the combination of the EU and OU changes as well, depending on the pronoun. So can everybody see the little blue box, like the blue column? Table? So, cool. Pouvoir, okay, so you have je peux, tu peux, il, elle peut, nous pouvons, vous pouvez, and ils, elles peuvent. Okay? So, yeah, that's mostly the new one. I think most of you would be familiar with the other four, as we have covered it before in one or two other lessons. Faire, as you can see, is also an irregular verb. So, je fais, tu fais, il, elle fait, nous faisons, vous faites, and ils, elles font. Okay. Yeah, just remembering that last one with the ils, elles, font, F-O-N-T, font. It comes up again with aller, with vont, okay? And again with être and avoir, sont, ont, vont, font. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about any of the pronunciation of any of those? Does anybody want to have a go at pronouncing?
I would like to try all of them.
Sure. Which one first?
From first one, je suis, tu es, il, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, vous êtes, ils, elles sont.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
Next one, avoir, je ai, tu es, il, elle est.
So,
Nous,
you are.
Ah.
Il, elle, a.
Ah. Okay. Why ah?
Because it's just the A. So it's that French pronunciation of the word of the letter A.
Okay.
So you have
So
A,
it's two.
which was correct. So j'ai, j'ai. Okay.
Mhm.
Then you have tu as, elle a. Okay, or il a.
Tu as, elle a,
Mhm.
nous avons,
Yeah.
vous avez,
Mhm.
ils, elles, on.
Yeah, with the S sound, because remember the vowel
Elles
is
font.
at the
Ils
front.
font,
Yeah,
elles font. Okay.
very good. Yeah.
Oh.
Aller,
Je vais,
je vais.
je vais,
Mhm.
tu vas,
Tu vas.
tu vas, il, elle va,
Mhm.
nous allons,
Good.
vous allez,
Mhm.
ils, elles vont.
Excellent. Really good. Yeah.
Faire, ok. J'ai fait,
Mhm.
tu fais,
Mhm.
il, elle fait,
Mhm.
nous faisons,
Yep.
vous faites,
Faites. Vous
Faites.
faites.
vous faites, ils, elles font.
Very good. Yeah.
Last
one?
one, how you pronounce pouvoir?
Peut.
No, the irregular
Oh.
one.
Pouvoir.
Pouvoir. Okay. Je peux,
Mhm.
tu peux, il, elle peut. That sounds funny in English. Nous pouvons, vous pouvez,
Yep.
il, elle peut.
Peuvent.
Peuvent.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, very well done, Anna. That was brilliant. Very well done. That's hard. That's very hard. So really did very, very well.
This needs to be practiced many times so it just comes naturally. It just
Yeah. It is just down to practicing.
Yeah. This one needs a lot of practicing.
Yeah. And just being sort of aware of what the French alphabet sounds like as well. Because a lot of these, like when you see an ah, like an A, what does it sound like? It's an ah, not an A, like in English. So, yeah. But
Okay, thank you.
it's good. Very well done. Anyone else want to have a go?
I'll have a go at pouvoir,
Okay.
because I haven't seen that one before. Je peux,
Mhm.
tu peux. I can't make that
Peu.
rote sound. Peu.
Yeah, like it's have you heard someone say on peut? Like a little?
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's that little on peut, peu. Je peux, tu peux, il, elle peut, etc.
Okay, I'll start again. Je peux, tu peux, il, elle, on peut, nous pouvons, vous pouvez,
Mhm.
ils, elles peuvent.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, my least favorite is the peuvent, like il, elle peuvent, just because to me that's a very strange sound to make. But that was really good, Lara. That was really, really good. So, yeah. Anyone else want to have a go at one that they're not sure about?
Yeah, I'll try avoir and aller.
Cool.
J'ai, tu as,
Mhm.
il, elle a,
Mhm.
nous savons,
Mhm.
vous savez,
Mhm.
ils, elles ont,
Mhm.
je vais,
Mhm.
tu vas,
Mhm.
il, elle va,
Yep.
nous allons,
Mhm.
vous allez,
Mhm.
ils, elles vont.
Good. Yeah. So yeah, just for everybody else, because that was good, Scott. The je vais is different from tu vas. Okay. So je vais, tu vas, il, elle va. Okay, just so that you're aware of the difference in that pronunciation. And also that word, the phrase je vais comes up a lot because people might ask you, ça va? And you would go, je vais bien. Okay, I'm going okay. Yeah, I'm all right, etc. So je vais bien, I'm good. Okay, any other people want to have a go? Any quiet ones?
The verb to go, do you pronounce letter R, like aller or aller?
So it's aller.
Aller.
Yeah.
So
So a little bit of
correct.
again, a bit like what was the other one that we came across? Finir. You've got the little R that comes at the end. But not too much because it's not Germanic, it's French. So it's just a little subtle one at the end. So yeah, être, avoir, aller, faire, pouvoir. Okay. Be, to have, to go, to make, or to do. So faire is the to. It's to do and it's also to make. So like you would use faire when you're talking about making a cake, for example. Okay, je fais un gâteau. All right, or je prépare un gâteau. But faire is also used for that as well. Okay. And then pouvoir is like can. I can do this. I can't do this. Yeah. Any questions about those guys?
So what about I'll do it? So je fais. So I will do. Let's say you ask me, oh Scott, would you like to practice pronunciation, or who would like to practice pronunciation? And I'll say, I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, you can say je veux, I like, or I would like je veux pratiquer, or je veux essayer. I would like to try. I want to try. Okay. Let's see, where is that? Up here. Je veux essayer. Okay. Je veux essayer. I want to try. Or you can say moi, je suis prête. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah. Okay, usually like je veux, moi, je veux essayer, etc. So moi just means me. Okay, so for anyone that doesn't want to or can't remember je veux essayer, you can say moi, I can. Okay. Any other questions, guys, or anything else before we move on? All right, so this little part is basically just matching regular verbs to their appropriate group. Okay. Basically, I'll give you about a minute or so to have a look at all those words, and then we'll, as a group, put them back together. Okay.
Taylor, I have a question.
Yes.
With the verb appeler, what's the difference? Because I've also seen it sort of like as the infinitive as s'appeler.
Yeah, so basically it's the difference between to call something like let's see, hang on. So I call myself, okay, s'appeler, m'appelle, je m'appelle, I am called, okay, it's a reflective verb, is the s'appeler, and appeler simply means to call, okay, so you could use it about talking on the telephone, or like if that makes sense, like the difference between those two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Anyone else with any vocabulary questions?
See in your table, you've got LIRE,
Mm-hmm.
but before we were conjugating it with LIRER.
Which one? So lire.
Lire, yeah. And then
L-I-R-E.
But then before, we were working with lire, L-I-R-E-R.
No. So it's always lire. So L-I-R-E. Okay. So if there was a mistake up ahead, I apologize, because lire, to read, is always spelled L-I-R-E. Okay, just to make that one clear. Do you need a few more seconds to finish up, or should we try putting it together? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, thumbs up.
Oh. Okay. So, anyone want to have a go? Any answers from anyone? If you know a word or you think you know a word, shout out the word and which group you think it belongs to.
Well, I know parler is speak, but I'm not sure which group it goes into.
Thinking back onto, if we come up to ER being the first group, IR being the second group, and RE being the third group. So I'll write that down here actually so that everybody knows. So ER, IR, RE. There you go. Does that help people a little bit?
Oh, heaps. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, just shout out if it's not clear. So parler, which one does that go with, Scott?
One, or whatever that is in French. Un.
Yeah, so group one. It's a group one verb. Okay, it goes into this one here. Okay. Anyone else?
Amer, group one.
So group one, yes. Amer. Okay. So can you remember what that means, Anna? Amer?
Want, like,
yes. Like or to love something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else?
Manger.
Yep. Which group?
One.
Yep.
Is the number one in this case, is that French un or un?
Yeah, so group un.
Oh.
And then you have groupe deux, and then groupe trois. So groupe un, groupe deux, groupe trois. Oh, that's a tongue twister, that one. Ooh, that's making me work out today, guys. Thanks for that. Yeah. And groups are feminine, by the way. La groupe.
Why?
Again, I don't know why. They just are. It's like how teams are masculine, but groups are feminine. I don't know why.
That's no way I can remember.
No, it all comes down to just practice and exposure.
You probably need to feel the language to kind of be able to identify with it, whether it's le or la.
Yeah, it basically comes down to the longer you're hearing it
Mm.
and hearing the words, the more likely you are to identify when something sounds incorrect.
Mm.
You do it in your own language. If something is not correct, you know it's not correct, but you're like, oh, why isn't it correct? And it's usually got something to do with those tiny grammar rules. So the reason we don't say, I were in the back, like I was in the back. Like you're like, oh, but it's the same verb. I put it in the past tense. It should be fine, but it doesn't work with the pronoun. It's not the correct one. So there's little things that will pop up as you become more familiar with the language. And a lot of it is just, it doesn't sound right. So let's try the other one. Oh, that actually sounds better. So usually that's how it works out.
So how do you say I was in the back in French?
How would I say that? J'étais en arrière. So I was behind. Okay, I was behind the shop. Or j'étais en arrière. I was in the back. Okay, so j'étais, it's a different tense. Okay, it's called imparfait. Okay, this one, it's a past tense that kind of denotes that the action continued for a time, and either hasn't stopped or only stopped due to another action. So like when we say, oh, I was walking down the street and a dog crossed my path. So those are two different tenses in that sentence, and it's the same in French. Imparfait is the I was walking. It just talks about a duration of action in the past. So j'étais en arrière, I was in the back, or I was behind, if that makes sense.
Okay. Could you just type that in? J'étais derrière, or whatever you said.
J'étais. Oh, that's why that's not working. Hang on, guys. I'm switching to my French keyboard. Here we go. So, j'étais. Okay. So, j'étais en arrière. So, en, en. Arrière. Okay. J'étais en arrière.
Did you pronounce the S? Did you say j'étais en arrière or j'étais en arrière? Or it doesn't matter?
I think I pronounce it without the S.
Okay.
Yeah, j'étais en arrière. Yeah, I think I pronounce it without the S, but I'm not 100% sure why.
Paula, how do they say Eiffel Tower? For example, behind the Eiffel Tower.
Ah, je suis en arrière le tour Eiffel. So, le tour Eiffel.
Okay.
Eiffel. Le tour Eiffel. So, so in English, nouns come after the adjective or the describing word. So because it's the Eiffel Tower, not the Tower Eiffel in English, but the French reverse it. So it is the Tower Eiffel. So j'étais en arrière le tour Eiffel. I was behind the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Heading back to our little activity. What do we got? Parler, manger, aimer are in group 1. Anything else in group 1 or any others that you were able to?
Comprendre.
Yes. Which group?
This will go to group 3.
Yes. So comprendre. Does anybody know what that word means? Comprendre?
Understand? Does it mean understand?
To understand. exactly. So when you don't understand something, you say je ne comprends pas. Okay? Je ne comprends pas.
Je ne comprends pas.
That's right. Je ne comprends pas. I don't
Je
understand.
ne comprends pas. Je ne comprends pas.
Yep. So, pardon, madame, je ne comprends pas. Sorry, ma'am, I don't understand.
I think this is going to be my favorite one.
It quickly became my favorite phrase as well. I'd be like, pardon, je ne comprends pas.
I need to make sure I remember this.
As long as you memorize that one, it's fine. Yeah. So I don't understand. Or if a teacher asks you a question and you don't know the answer, it's not I don't understand, it's je ne sais pas. Okay, I don't know. Je ne sais pas or je ne comprends pas. Okay, so I don't understand or I don't know. If you do know, it's je sais, like I know, or je comprends. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So comprend. Any others, guys?
Habiter is
Habiter. Which group?
1.
Group 1. So habiter. Okay. Does anybody know what it means? Habiter.
Just guessing. Live.
To live. Yeah. So it usually is like where you live. Like j'habite à Sydney. I live in Sydney. Okay. Right. Or can be like j'habite dans une maison or dans un appartement, like in a house, in an apartment, etc. Yeah. So anyone else, guys?
Group 1 is appeler.
Appeler. Yes. I think Lara, you touched on that one earlier. Apologies. But yes, so appeler.
Oh, that's je m'appelle, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Je m'appelle. Okay.
So that's the reason why it follows that same regular pattern. Even when it's the reflective, the s'appeler is the same regular termination. Okay, je m'appelle, tu t'appelles, il, elle, on s'appelle, nous s'appelons, vous appelez, il, elle s'appelle. Yeah, it's the regular termination for all those. Anyone for group 2, guys? Any of the group 2s that you can find?
Finir.
Finir. Excellent. Yeah. Any others for group 3 or group 2? Because I think we got all group 1.
Last word. Faith. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Faiblir. Faiblir means
What?
to weaken. Okay. So
To what?
to weaken.
To weaken.
Like, yeah, to weaken. Okay, so when something gets weaker, okay, or to be weak or to weaken, basically. It's the opposite of strong or to strengthen something. Okay. Not a very common verb, but I just wanted to show you that there are some verbs in group 2, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Not very many. Again, it's one of the rarer groups for verbs. And any more for group 3, guys? Group 3.
Boire.
Boire? Yeah. And what does boire mean?
To eat or to drink?
To drink, yes. Manger is to eat. Boire is to drink. Anyone else? Anything else?
Lire.
Lire, yeah.
Écrire.
Écrire, yeah.
What is that?
Means to write.
Oh. Écrire.
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 Can't help it. I get very glottal with that one. So écrire.
Écrire.
Yeah. Écrire. If you can't get the R yet, it's écrire. Okay. But try to develop that R sound because it ends up really helping you being able to put those sounds together. So écrire, to write, lire, to read, boire, yeah. And the last one, I think there's one more. Starts with a P.
Prendre.
Prendre.
Yes. So prendre. So does anybody remember this one? What does it mean, prendre?
To take.
Yes, to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see a bit more clearly now, guys, where the groups sort of fall in terms of regular verbs. You can see they're sort of in certain categories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is putting them into groups helps us do what again? I've forgotten.
So if so I'll get out of this one. If we come up to our little
Yep.
it helps us to determine how they need to be conjugated in the when they are next to a pronoun.
Gotcha.
Depending on their group, they will conjugate in different ways.
Yep.
Because they're regular, if they end in ER, IR, or RE, they will usually 95% of the time finish like this. If they don't, then they are irregular verbs and they have a different pattern, and just need to be aware of that. Any other questions there, guys? Okay, so we're going to go over, I think, guys, and I don't know if we're going to get to our scenarios because I had the scenarios all planned out, but I think, is everybody okay to stay on?
Maybe 10 minutes, another 10 minutes, and I have to go.
Okay. So Anna, not a problem. This will all be on the in the Facebook group, and if you have any questions about it, please feel free.
You can give me homework. I will do it. I'll do it myself.
Actually, that would be good. If you can't stay for the next little bit, please feel free to do the scenarios as homework, and then we will, and we'll go over it in revision next week. Okay. Cool. So basically,
so we're going to finish off this page, Taylor.
Probably finishing off this page,
yep.
And then what I'll try and get you guys to do is complete the sentences.
Yep, that's fine.
All of these ones.
Yep.
There is a couple of vocabulary items at the end which might help you, but all of the vocabulary for each scenario is in these boxes. So you've got 3 pages of scenarios. They're all different ones, like making a reservation, entering the restaurant, and ordering food. So stuff we have done before, and then over the week, I want you to fill in, okay, the sentences, and then we will do that as the first part of next week's lesson.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. So to finish off for today, we're just going to do these irregular verbs just to demonstrate how they're a bit different. But for your own self-study, I really recommend you download the Lorb's La Conjugation app. It's on any of the app stores, I think. And I really like it because it just gives you basically every French verb like that exists. And it shows you how those are conjugated. It shows you which group they're a part of. And it shows all of the conjugations in all the different tenses as well. So present tenses, past tenses, future tenses, conditionals, all kinds of things. And there's little exercises and tests that you can do with it as well. So it's good for vocabulary building and just if you're interested in learning more about French grammar. So let's do it. All right, so vouloir. Does anybody remember what vouloir means?
Want?
To want.
To want, yes. And dormir.
To sleep.
To sleep, yes. Devoir.
To need.
Yes, to need, or it basically, a bit like pouvoir, where it's like can, it's also like need or need to. And venir.
Have we done that?
Yes, well, briefly we touched on it.
To come
Yeah,
from.
sounds familiar.
Okay.
Who said who?
To come from.
To come is basically like to come from or to come. That's what venir means. Yeah. So these are irregular verbs, all of them. Vouloir follows a very similar conjugation to pouvoir. Okay, so je veux. Sorry, je veux. Okay. What would come after je veux for to? Thinking back to our pouvoir.
V-E-U-T.
Not V-E-U-T, V-E-U-X. X.
Oh.
Exactly. Okay, so je and tu usually in irregular verbs match each other. Je and he and she usually match in regular verbs. Again, not always, but they sometimes do. Il, elle, on. Somebody said it before, just then.
T.
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 Nous.
Voulons.
Voulons. Excellent, yes. Vous.
Voulez.
Voulez. Everybody knows that Lady Marmalade song? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. Voulez-vous. Okay? So voulez-vous coucher is this one. Vous voulez. All right. Would you like? You've also got the ABBA song, Voulez-vous? Same thing. Then il, elle. Anyone want to have a go at this one?
Vous.
Yes,
With
kind of. Yeah. So it's a voul. Yeah, exactly. Again, one of those weird ones, but yeah, very good, guys. Very good. We'll do devoir because it's a little similar, not quite, but it is similar. Je. Anyone want to have a go?
Dois.
Yes, je dois. Tu
Dois.
dois. Il, elle, on.
Dois with a T.
Doit with a T. Very good. Nous.
Devons.
Devons. Yes. Vous.
Devez.
Devez. Yeah. And il, elle.
Dev.
Doivent.
Doivent.
Yeah. So usually that last one tricks. It changes the nous and vous usually change quite dramatically from the rest. The other ones tend to have the same beginning with a different termination, if that makes sense. So you can see in je, tu, il, elle, on, and il and elle, they all begin with the DOI, and then they have a different termination. But then nous and vous have DEV. Okay. Yeah. So we'll do dormir. Okay. Je
dors,
dors. Okay. Spelled like this. Tu
dors,
Yep. Il, elle, on.
Do.
How's that spelled?
GRT.
Yeah. Nous
dormons,
dormons. Yep. Vous
Dormez.
dormez. And il, elle
dors,
dorment. Okay. So everyone knows Frère Jacques, like brother John.
Yep.
yeah,
Dormez-vous, dormez-vous. That's what this one. This is that verb. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? And the last one, venir, is a bit different. This one is very different from the others. It's just that it's used quite a lot. So I wanted you guys to be across it. So thinking back to I come from Australia, I come from another country. Je
viens,
viens. Yeah. Tu
viens,
viens. Il, elle, on
viens with a T,
vient with a T. Nous
venons,
venons. Vous
venez,
venez. And then il, elle
vient,
vient. Yes, like this. All right. Does anyone want to have a go at pronouncing any of these before they log off or head off to do things? Anna? Do you want to practice any of these before you go?
Yes. I want to try to sleep.
To sleep? Sure. Okay.
Je dors.
Mm-hmm.
Tu dors.
Yeah.
Il, elle, on dort.
Yeah.
Nous dormons.
Dormons.
Nous dormons.
Yeah.
Vous dormez.
Good. Yeah.
Il, elle, dorment.
Dorm.
Dorm.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay. I always forget that last one. I shouldn't pronounce last. Yeah. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. It comes with
Il,
practice.
elle, dorm.
Yeah. Do you want to try again?
Yeah. Je dors.
Mm-hmm.
Tu dors.
Mhm.
Il, elle, on dort.
Mhm.
Nous dormons.
Mhm.
Vous dormez.
Mhm.
Il, elle dorme.
Excellent. Very good. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm logging off.
No
thank you
problem.
so
Thanks,
much.
Anna. See you next week.
Monday. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
À bientôt. So anybody else want to have a go?
Yeah, can I try devoir?
Yeah, of course.
Je dois.
Mm-hmm.
Dois.
Mhm.
Il, elle, on doit.
Mhm.
Nous devons.
Mm-hmm.
Vous devez.
Mm-hmm.
elles doivent.
Yes. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's always a hard one because it's like me with vouloir. Like the il, elle for vouloir, veulent. Oh, I always feel like I'm not saying it right, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Doivent. D-O-I-V is basically the sound that you're making. Doivent. Did you want to try any of the others?
I just typed it in as D-W-U-V and I pronounce it. That's how I remember.
Yeah. Phonetics.
I'll try,
Phonetics are good.
yeah, Anna did dormir. So I'll try. Je dors, tu
Mhm.
dors, il, elle, on dort,
Mhm.
nous dormons,
Mhm.
vous dormez,
Mhm.
il, elle dort.
Mhm.
Does that have dorm?
Yeah, dorm, like a dorm room,
Dorm.
like
Ah,
a
yep.
dormitory.
Yep.
So that's where we get the word dormitory from. Is from the French word dormir, to sleep.
Ah, yep.
Yeah. Not that you hear it a lot in Australia, but if you read any of the Harry Potter books or you watch any American TV shows, they might say the dorm rooms.
Yep.
That's where we get it from, is sleeping room, basically.
Yeah.
And
Well, let
then-
someone else have a go because I'd like to listen to other people pronounce it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to have a go? Anyone who hasn't had a go yet?
Yep, I'll have a go at vouloir.
Yep.
It's a weird sound.
Yeah.
Je veux,
Mhm.
tu veux, il, elle, on veut, nous voulons, vous voulez, il, vous, hold on,
Ils, elles veulent.
veulent, no, veulent,
Veulent.
be there,
Yeah.
veulent, elles veulent.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of an L after veut. So je veux, tu veux, il, elle, on veut, nous voulons, vous voulez, ils, elles veulent. Yeah, I don't particularly like the sound of that last one, but it's when in doubt, just hope for the best with a v sound, like a v, and it'll usually work out because you're usually saying it like you want to do something, like je veux manger, I want to eat, or ils veulent manger, they want to eat. Okay, so it's quite quick, so you don't end up having to stay on it for a long time. Cool. Anyone else before we head off? Because that's about it for me today, guys. That app, the Lorbs one, is really good. I really do recommend it if you want to sort of wrap your head more around French conjugation. The activities are quite nice, and you can just, if you're really struggling, you can pull it out and go, okay, what was that word again? Oh, that's right, that's how it's spelled, or that's how I conjugate it. Yeah. As for homework for next week, please feel free to access the worksheet and to do the 3 scenarios in your own time. I have sort of tried to give you some vocabulary help, but if you are really struggling, please don't hesitate to contact me. Like through the Facebook page basically is the best way, but otherwise I'm in the group chat all the time, so you can just talk to me directly there. Yeah, that's it for today, guys.
Can I ask a question about something else?
Sure.
That because I'm like doing other stuff for French in my own time.
Sure.
With adjectives, they normally come after the noun. But what about
Come before
numbers?
the noun.
Come before?
Oh, hang on. No, you're right. They come after. Sorry.
It was
Sorry. My brain.
with numbers. If you're
Yes.
saying I ordered, like I have 2
Oh, yes.
carrots
Numbers go before the noun.
before. Yeah, okay. I thought so, but I just wanted to.
Same with English with numbers.
Yeah.
There are a couple of adjectives that come before the noun, What are they? I know, like, oh, if you're talking about beauty, okay, like le belle maison or le jolie maison, like the beautiful house or the pretty house, that goes before the noun. The age of something goes before it, like the 95-year-old house, again, goes before it in French as well. Oh, size. So le grande maison, le petit maison, okay, that goes before it. But these are all exceptions to the rule. The rule is that the adjective follows the noun, except in these cases.
Okay,
So
cool.
usually when you're looking at it, or if you're trying to understand where adjectives are, put it behind, unless it's about beauty, size, age. What else did I say? And the number, okay? Those are all going before it. There's like 4 or 5 categories that go before the noun, but that's about it.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Did anybody else have any other questions related to French before we go?
Just curious, going back to group 1, group 2, group 3.
Yes.
So in French, is it la groupe 1 or le groupe 1? Or is it just group 1 or?
I mean, whenever I've seen these, like this terminology, it's when I've been learning French, so it was always just groupe 1 or groupe 2 or groupe 3. But I guess if you were going to talk about it, like you would say le premier groupe, like the first group, or you would say le deuxième groupe, the second group. That would be how you would use it. You're talking about first, second, and third, as opposed to group 1, group 2, group 3, if you were going to put the article in front of it.
No, I get you. Yep.
So you've got, where is it? La première. Okay. So le premier groupe, like the first group. And you've got le deuxième.
And you only know it's la and not le because of your experience.
Literally that, and the way it's spelt as well. Sometimes the spelling can really help. So group ends in an E in French, and not all nouns that end with an E will necessarily be feminine, but the fact that I have to pronounce the last consonant, the actual P sound, clues me in that it's probably a feminine thing. Like the difference between like grande and grande, like masculine and feminine in that adjective, is that the second one is feminine, the first one is masculine. But because I have to more pronounce the D in the second one, I know that it's going to be it's a feminine thing. And the similar with group. So le deuxième groupe, I have to pronounce that P. So I'm like, okay, I'm pronouncing that last consonant. That must mean that there is something after that consonant, usually an E, and usually when that happens, it's a feminine thing, or usually.
Yep.
Sometimes not, but most of the time it is.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
No, that's handy to know, those little things. That certainly helps knowing the gender. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it is just something that you end up finding as you go through the learning process. The worst one is when you think you've been saying the right thing for a long time, and then somebody tells you, actually, no, that's masculine. And you're like, oh, really? Like I was saying, like une croissant, like a croissant, but like feminine for way too long, until somebody said, actually, it's masculine. And I went, oh, right. So every time I've gone to like a boulangerie and said une croissant, they've just been really polite and not questioned it at all.
So it should be un croissant.
Un croissant,
Un croissant, not un croissant.
not un croissant. Even though to me, un croissant sounds not as correct as un croissant.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. That being said, if you're talking about the crescent moon, which is la lune croissante, okay, which is what a croissant is named after, that is a feminine thing, and then you have to use the feminine article.
Okay.
So it really depends on the object itself.
All right.
And again, those will change sometimes randomly. Like, oh, really good example is the Louvre. Okay, so it's actually le Louvre, okay, masculine. But if you're looking at that word, Louvre, it sounds like it should be feminine. And it, going off my spelling argument from earlier, it ends in a way that you'd expect it to be feminine.
Yep.
And it's also it's a gallery, which is usually feminine. I think it's feminine. So most people are like, well, why is it masculine? And people are like, oh, because it's the Louvre. It's not just any Louvre. It's the masculine one. And we're like, okay, whatever. Sure. All right. So sometimes these things make no sense, but it's just the way they are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Any other questions before we tap off, guys? Well, thank you so much. I hope this lesson has been okay. Sorry we didn't get through all of it, but we'll go through those scenarios next week because I know you guys wanted to do that as well. I just know that conjugation was something that you were all interested in some way. So I hope that was at least a little bit of an assistance for that. Yeah, just any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Send them through either to Facebook or into the group discussion. And yeah, I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Taylor.
Merci
À la
beaucoup.
prochaine.
À la prochaine.
Taylor.
Merci.